Hey there, I am Barb Higgins, and this is 1,000 Tiny Steps. In this podcast, I share my stories of love, loss, triumph, and tragedy as I continue to retrace my steps and ponder what led to the death of my daughter Molly. By doing so, I hope to not only help myself, but to bring purpose and possibility to those who listen. If you are ready to laugh, cry, shake your head in disbelief, then tie, buckle, lace up, or slip on your shoes and join me as we begin our 1,000 Tiny Steps. Hey everybody, Barb Higgins here, welcoming you to episode 209 of 1,000 Tiny Steps. So in my season of guests, I'm all over the place, emotionally, mentally, physically. Always before we start recording, I chit-chat a little bit, and I was saying how I didn't really know how to introduce Danielle here because I didn't remember where I met her. She's one of those people that I don't remember not knowing, but I don't remember, like, oh, hi, I'm Barb, I'm Danielle. So funny little connection. We met through a mutual friend named Jenna, and we met apparently during the week that Molly was on life support. So Danielle, welcome to my life. I guess I'm glad I know how I met you now. Our connection is a little girl named Lexi who battled courageously brain cancer and brain tumors for all of her teenage years. That was what being a teenager was for Lexi. Danielle, I'm going to turn it over to you a little bit and tell me, first of all, how you come to meet such amazing people in your life.
It's an accident.
Yeah.
It's always an accident. My name's Danielle. I'm born and raised Concord, New Hampshire. I do a little bit of everything. I don't have a formal job. I'm actually disabled. I was disabled at work 5 years ago. Ended up working out because it gave me time to take care of Lexi. We had many a surgery together. I have a lot of connections through Lexi. She battled for 7 years.
Yeah, a long time.
It was 7 years. She was diagnosed at 12, passed away just after her 19th birthday.
Her entire teenage life was battling cancer.
All of it.
The summer after Molly died, so 2017, I was at a play at the Capitol Center for the Arts, and somebody came up to me. Where do you go to the doctors now? Where do you take Gracie to the doctors? And she basically said, we've been going to Concord Pediatrics, getting nowhere, and something's not right. Where do you go? And I said, I go to Crossroads Family Medicine and Pediatrics. Call, tell them I told you to call, tell them it's connected to Molly, and tell them that it's, her. And so I had a doctor's appointment maybe 2 weeks later. That was sometime in July, and I had an appointment in August. And when I went in for my appointment, Peter came out. I was seeing the nurse practitioner, and he said, normally I wouldn't be able to share these things, but I've been asked by the family the next time I see you to tell you thank you. And I said, what happened? He just told me this mother brings this child in who is clearly not okay. He said, I didn't even have to, I didn't have to take out anything. I looked at her and took her to the hospital and put her in it, whether it was a CAT scan or what it was. And she was like in Hanover hours later. Like,
Same day.
Yeah, like he couldn't.
I remember correctly, her doctor carried her to the car.
Yes, he did. He carried her. Couldn't wrap his head around it. And I have to say, I get really teary-eyed because nobody gave a shit about Molly. They did nothing. And so it was it eased my mind so much that he was my doctor and Gracie's doctor, because I knew that no matter what I said, he would follow through on it.
Yeah.
And he said to me that it wrecked him, that a little girl could look like she looked and told to go home.
Like she had been sent home twice before.
Yes.
From the hospital. It could be anything but a brain tumor.
Yeah. Well, that was
anything
Molly.
But
yeah.
Lex didn't have a long decline, or the signs, I should say, that Molly had. I read your book and I followed the story, and Molly showed symptoms and she was overlooked. Lex didn't. In retrospect, maybe.
Yeah.
But they were little things. She's a 12-year-old girl, and you know how 12-year-old girl moods are.
Oh, yes.
So a change in temperament isn't necessarily a cause for alarm.
Right.
But Lex was a dancer and she loved to dance. And after recital, which would have been May, she didn't want to dance anymore. I'm too tired. I don't want to. But it's not uncommon at that age group where you're just, that's your little kid stuff. We move on.
Yep.
So it wasn't really a red flag. It wasn't an area of concern even at that time. It's like, we were sad. She loved it, and now you don't. She didn't have anything that would scream, we need to help her. There's something wrong. She might sleep more. She's a growing girl.
Yeah.
Lex had the most amazing parents. She really had, she still does have amazing parents. Mom, dad, and a bonus mom who incredible. She had been with, I believe, dad and bonus mom over the weekend. And she came home and she didn't feel good. All there was to it. She didn't feel good. Vomiting, tired, just looked unwell. I kind of personally chalked it up to knowing how convincing Lex can be. Dad let her have candy all weekend.
Yeah.
This kid has probably had no substance. Not an attack on the parenting style. She was so convincing. I mean, this kid would live on chips and candy if you let her, which we later did. So it was one of those things. And then she didn't get better and she went to the ER and it was a virus. Then she didn't get better the next day and the vomiting got worse. And she said, I have double vision. And they said, you don't know what that means. Okay. We just racked our brains with no symptoms. Did she get a bacteria from the lake? They were camping. Did she get, it could be anything but a brain tumor.
Right.
And it wasn't until she went to her PCP and he said, no, something's very, very wrong. I worked with her mom at that point.
Yeah.
Actually, I worked with her mom for years before. And I remember covering her shift so she could take Lex to the ER. And she said, I have to take her just to the PCP. There's something wrong.
Yeah.
That's when she ended up at the ER. I got the phone call. I was still at work that it's a brain tumor. It was supposed to be an ear infection.
Right. Oh, Molly got drops. Molly got medicine for a sinus infection. We took her to the chiropractor. We did everything, except let's take a little picture of her head. You came to know Lexi through her mom.
Lexi's family.
Okay.
To the world, I am put out as Lexi's auntie.
Yeah.
Lexi is my cousin Andrea's daughter.
Okay, got it.
For fundraising purposes, it was so complicated to explain.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, I am her auntie. Andrea doesn't have a sister. I worked with her mom. They lived 4 doors down from me. I'd say she could talk. She used to be super shy and wouldn't, but from the time she could talk, she was my person.
Yeah. 7 years. 7 years is a long time. She had a glioma, right? Or a glioblastoma, that kind?
Nope. And I knew you'd ask me this too.
That's right.
Brainstem.
Oh, hers was also brainstem.
Brainstem. They had originally thought it was something else at her first surgery. Worst case scenario, it could be this.
Yeah.
It came back worst case scenario.
Anaplastic endiomoma.
Ependymoma.
Well, it's a brain tumor I've never heard of.
Yeah, it's the one you don't want to get.
Right. You get this horrible news that she has that type of brain tumor. In the 7 years that she went through this, did she have periods of time where she was quote unquote well?
She did. They were brief. So she had the initial brain surgery and then removed the tumor. So that was great news. Was within the week. We were kind of dashed that it very rare, very aggressive.
Yeah.
Odds were that it would come back. So from there, she did radiation in Boston. I do believe she did chemo right after that. And then there was no evidence of disease for a little bit. I think it was 7 months to a year.
Yeah.
Continuous scans, all the treatment. And then it came back. It never came back in her brain stem. It came back in her optic nerve and her pituitary gland.
So then it was just sort of treatment, periods of not remission necessarily, but periods of being okay.
Maintenance.
Yeah. Basically a 7-year countdown to when nothing will work anymore. Is that accurate? Yeah.
Yep.
So I will say in my, I had a child that was alive and fine, or so we thought. We didn't know about the brain tumor until it had killed her. So April 30th, she was alive, going for ice cream, playing wiffle ball, making plans for May and June. May 1st, she was dead. Like that was it. So it was such a throat punch, like it came so seemingly out of nowhere. Even though we'd been going to the doctors for weeks and weeks and weeks, we were not prepared for this. Sometimes I think that's better because I didn't spend months and months and months worrying about when she would leave. But then sometimes I think what a gift it would have been to have known, to have some sort of journey so that you learn and you grow and you learn and you grow. And yes, it's coming. So you get to make decisions about what to do or not to do. Like, I don't think there's a better. I just think each one is what it is. But I think a lot about that with Lexi's situation. Like,
I've thought about it a lot too with, Molly, especially. I think about your situation and then what we were in. We're thankful because we had time.
Yeah.
We definitely had time. We watched her grow, but we watched her not have a childhood.
Right.
we made choices, but there are also choices you don't want to make.
No, no.
So in a way, there's a comfort you don't have to second guess yourself.
Right.
And even though we shouldn't, we don't. I don't want to say we do, but I always think to myself, I can't speak for her parents, but I'm like, what if there was something else? Or what if we picked wrong, one of the treatments? But her teams were so amazing,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, and they'll tell you, we can't tell you what to do. They're also very clear on what wouldn't work.
Right.
So, that's not your choice. I think the hardest part in retrospect, 7 years, you have a buildup of the up and down. It worked, it didn't work. But every time we would try something else, we'd get more time.
Right.
And when she went home on hospice, it didn't feel real.
No, that must have felt, no, I get
It
it.
didn't feel real because for 7 years, we're waiting for the what's next. And
Right.
we know we can do it. We know she'll be okay.
Yeah.
And when they shut everything off and say we can't help her, it doesn't register.
No, no. Oh, I know that feeling. You hear the ocean roar in your ears for a minute
Yeah.
because what you're hearing makes no sense at all. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean you can't do
I'm
anything?
like, yeah, but what are we going to do?
Yeah, right.
So that was hard.
Yeah. The other thing I would think comes into play, I know when people have somebody in their life with chronic illness, like friends I know who have lost loved ones to ALS, your whole
Mm-hmm.
life becomes caring for the person. Your whole life is centered around the good days and the bad days, what comes next, treatment, delivering treatment, rides to and from treatment. So when the
Mm-hmm.
person's gone, all of that goes too. There must have been a period of like, what the hell do I do now?
Now what?
Yeah.
Now what? I can't tell you how many days I said, now what? And not even the coming and going. We had a few months. Not that we weren't bedside with her the whole time, but hospice treatment slowed down. So you got into a new reality.
Yes. Yeah.
We're not going places. People are coming to us. Lex came home at the end of January. She passed in May. So we got into this routine of all just being together
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
weeks and months. And we were with her. And then all of a sudden to go home.
Right. Right.
You go home.
Right. Yeah, you were at this like 3 month sleepover where y'all kind of hung out together all the
In and
time.
out every day, check-ins. I'm on my way up. What can I grab? What can
Yeah.
I? And then you go home and there's nothing. It's
Yeah.
quiet.
Right. 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 Ugh.
Those minutes were hard.
Was it a year in May or two
A
years?
year in May.
A year. Yeah. So God, you're so new in it. I still
I
I still couldn't wrap my head around it a year in. I wouldn't go back to being that fresh for all the money in the world.
My brain has done me dirty in the last probably month and a half. I spent easily the first 6 months, if not full year, being like, she's just in Georgia at treatment.
Yeah.
I didn't hear from her today. There's
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
She was on a trial in Georgia, so she would leave for, once a month for a few days. Always her and her dad. I just kind of mentally tricked myself into
Yeah.
thinking like she's just gone. I can remember it didn't impact me as a child, but as an adult, the movie with Macaulay Culkin,
My girl.
My Girl.
Yes. Yes.
I never thought of this, but the movie My Girl, at the very end of the movie, the little boy's mom runs into her dad and she says something about some days are worse than others. Sometimes I just think he's at camp and then I remember he's not coming home.
Yeah.
And it's that.
Yeah. All right, that one got me.
I'm sorry.
No, there's no apologizing here. It's all we're supposed to do. For me, year two was 8,000 times worse than year one because all of the rubble had settled and all of the
Mhm.
dust had settled and everybody was on to the next earthquake. And I'm like, okay, I'm still here.
But I'm here.
Yeah, but nothing is better for me. Like it's not fixed. And there was nothing to rebuild. Molly was gone. The only thing that can fix it is for Molly to come home. And she
Right.
came. So for me, year two was like, what the fuck do I do with this? Like, how do I do this? I can't wrap my head around it. And, I turned to drugs and got really addicted to some pretty scary things. And I just numbed myself into oblivion because I really couldn't function. Create a whole new set of stressors so I don't think about Molly. Your reactions and the things that, the grief train hitting you in the face a lot right now. I'm not surprised because all those little tricks that your brain does for you when you first suffer any bad thing,
Yeah.
they go away. It doesn't last. And so I know that was really hard for me. How is Lexi's mom?
Lexi's mom is great. I mean, she struggles.
Oh yeah, of
She
course.
does, of course. Lexi's mom is living on a ranch in Wyoming.
Wow.
She started a whole new life with a childhood best friend.
Yep.
Her best friend has children, three triplet girls.
Oh my
They're
God.
amazing. But I truly believe Andrea is Lexi's mom. Andrea's heart needed to be a mom.
Yes.
And I love that she gets not to parent, but I mean, she definitely is right there
Oh
helping.
yeah, yeah.
And it's kind of been something that I've said to other family members because they're like, we can't believe she just moved away.
Well, I can. She did
I
what she
no,
needed
do
to
you know
do.
why I can and why I think it makes sense? Lexi can't be replaced,
No,
but I do believe it would take three little girls
to replace her.
to fill that hole.
I love it. Oh my God.
It
But
couldn't it couldn't be one little girl.
no, no, not
Um,
at all. Not at all.
and she's thriving.
That's good.
She's thriving.
You know what's
Um,
nice about being in a new place? And so, like Gracie and Molly always wanted to go to Disney, and we never did. We never
yes.
did. So, a year after Molly's death, Bethany Judge's family took us to Disney. And so, even though we wanted Molly to be there, obviously, it wasn't like she was missing from there because she'd never been there.
Yes.
So it wasn't like, oh, remember when we were here with Molly? When Molly died, I had Gracie, and my biggest job, aside from decimating myself, was to make sure she was okay. So everything had to stay the same in certain respects. We slept on the living room floor for 2 years. We could stand to come up here and be upstairs in the house and all that. If Grace didn't want to go to school, she didn't go to school, but she stayed with dance. She had her same friends. Like the general structure of her life remained unchanged. And
Right.
so we just had to live in the very world that Molly was no longer in. And
Mhm.
so it was incredibly difficult. So we signed off on holidays for a while. We, had a big show for her funeral at the Capitol Center for the Arts. We started the foundation almost right away. Molly B t-shirts. We just wanted to keep her name out there so much. This panic-driven need to keep her alive. I do think sometimes if she had been my only child, I think I might have just taken off. I think I might have just gone to a place where I could not have anything around me that reminded me of her, just to have
Mhm.
a respite from the agony of the whole thing. And this Danielle is nothing like the Danielle before Lexi got sick, because the only way that Danielle could live and exist would be with a healthy Lexi. You know,
Correct.
like, oh, I want the old Barb back. Well, go dig up my kid and make her alive
If
and make
you
her.
could
Yeah,
bring her back to
yeah,
me, we will
yeah.
carry on as we
Yeah.
planned.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And that sometimes when people say you have to move on or get over it, oh, hell no, you don't move. You move along, maybe. I move along in my life, but
Mhm.
Molly comes with me. I'm not moving on from her. I'm sure Lexi is in every breath she takes on that ranch.
Absolutely.
And yeah, wow.
Absolutely.
So much of what I like to share with people is the ups and downs of grief. I haven't been 100% honest with all of my grief journey. I'll get that sort of comes out in dribs and drabs. But I know for
Mhm.
me, like social media was hugely important, all the grief groups, starting a foundation. These are things that just fueled me. What's it been like for you? Like, what's Danielle's version of what the fuck do I do now that Lexi's gone? Like,
So I'm the opposite. I have gone ghost on social media. I was the voice of love for Lexi for 7 years.
yeah,
I did nothing but update. It started out as a means to keep our family in touch. I couldn't possibly call everyone every day
right,
with the updates. And I tried as soon as day one to take that off of her parents' plate so that they didn't have to make every phone call
right,
in. Because you know how it is, everyone wants an answer and they want it now.
yeah,
And I started with phone calls and it was too much and everyone called with questions. So I made it really clear in the beginning. Love for Lexi is our blog. I'm going to tell her story. It's her perspective, what she's going through. It was never about me.
right,
And I did find at the very end of Lexi's life, I did one post and I was honest. I said, this page was never about me, but this is who she was to me, who she is. She was still with us. And I never thought the page really had a purpose other than being informative until Lex had just come home on hospice. I had taken her out one afternoon. This one is going to make me cry. We had gone to my best friend's house, miserable winter day. It was I swear 20 below. I was surprised she even went outdoors. But we decided just to have a girls' day and we were going to lay on the couch and just binge watch TV and do lunch because she wasn't up to doing much. And my best friend went into the kitchen and she was making lunch. And Lex and I have a picture of us. We're cuddled up on the couch. We have like fuzzy blankets
Yeah.
and we're comfy as could be. She's just kind of got her head on my shoulder. And she said, I read your page sometimes. I said, oh, I didn't know she ever looked at it. I didn't know she'd seen it. And I said, you do? And she said, yeah, it makes me cry.
Oh,
And it was a gut punch. I'm like, I'm telling your whole life and you're reading it. And I hurt her feelings. I'm like, did I say something wrong? Like, I try to be so respectful of her actual privacy while being informative. She looked at me and she said, it makes me cry because you love me so much.
oh.
So now I'm sobbing on a sofa.
Yep, yep. Well, and she gets to
When,
look at her life from outside. So this is where it's a gift for Lexi, and I think she probably knew it, even if what she articulated was her emotions about it. She got to sit in the audience and watch herself, as opposed to being
yeah,
inside of herself.
yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And yeah, so now when I see her page, and I try not to look at it much because it stings,
Yeah,
I read it through her eyes. And I'm like, wow, you know what? I did love you so much.
yeah, yeah,
Like, and I'm so thankful now that she knew.
yeah. Oh, yeah,
So after she passed, we did the updates with her service, and
yeah,
I did a once a month update the year that she passed. But my last post on her blog was the 1 year anniversary. And it's not that I don't have anything to say, I have plenty I could say about her, but I got smacked with grief.
yeah, right. No, when I think of grief, I think of Charlie Brown character Pigpen with all the dirt over his head. He walks
Yes,
around this, and that's what I look at as grief. Except sometimes it's in front of your face, and sometimes you're tripping on it. Sometimes
yeah,
it's in your pants. Sometimes you're breathing it in. Nothing is consistent day to day. What makes me cry today won't even evoke an emotion 2 weeks from now.
right.
What's fine today will be unmanageable tomorrow. It's not linear at all. It's not like a surgical wound that slowly gets better and then you can remove the stitches and then pretty soon you hardly see it. And I think sometimes the public has this idea. The number of people who said to me, like even just months after Molly's death, how are you, Barb? And I'm like, oh, I'm having a rough day. Why? What's wrong?
Whole life's
Like,
wrong.
why? What's wrong?
Everything
I
feels
have
wrong.
a dead child. And there were some people that, oh, well, that's been quite a while now. Like, yeah, well, I had it 13 years and thought I'd have it forever. So, 6 months doesn't feel like a long time. Like, it got to the point where I had to just avoid people, which is not me at all.
Right.
The other thing that was profound for me was being told not to cry because it made people uncomfortable. Like, that I needed to make sure my grief didn't make people uncomfortable. And when I talked to Gracie, she went through a phase of not having any social life at all because
Hmm.
she would go to something and it was so painful, the tears would come. But there were always people that was like, oh, here we go again,
Right.
crying about Molly. We can't have any fun. And it was hard. Like, I understand where her friends were coming from. We're the ones with the loss. And then it's our job to make sure the people that didn't lose anything don't feel bad being around.
Right. Right. And you find you're taking care of them more than
Yes.
they are you,
Yes. Yeah. All the
which
time.
which is real. And
Yeah.
then you get in situations too where it'll be something little and you'll bring up, Lexi or Molly's name. And then I don't know if it's that way for you, but sometimes I'll second guess. I'm like, should I mention her still? Like
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
people
mentioned
get
it.
uncomfortable.
Yeah. I was at Concord Dance Academy open house. A couple of students were there that grew up with Molly and they work there now. And I brought something up and I mentioned Molly like 2 or 3 times. And one of the girls in the group got this look on her face, like not knowing how to react to that. Like I could
Right.
see that she was having this moment of discomfort. So I let it slide for a minute. And I'm like, I talk about Molly all the time because of the foundation. She's like a huge
Right.
presence in my life. It's not like, oh, poor me, dead Molly. And she goes, oh,
Right.
no, 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 no. Like I didn't like and I said, it makes people uncomfortable sometimes. You just need to
Hmm.
make believe that Molly is a foundation and not a dead 13-year-old. And it's a
Right.
lot easier. Like
Yep.
that's where we are coming from now. What does she stand for? What do we love about her? What drives the foundation? But it was one of those moments where then on the other side, I had a mother come up to me after an RB Productions play a couple of summers ago and say, I need to tell you, I thought Molly was alive. My daughter comes home every day talking about Molly. Molly says that you need to make sure everyone feels welcome and that you need to be yourself, but yourself shouldn't be more important than someone else's self and all this. And so when her mother, when they're making plans to see the show, the mom was going to come watch her daughter. The mother said to her, "Will Molly be there?" And the girl goes, "Mom, Molly's dead. She died
Oh,
like
wow.
forever ago. She's in heaven, but we talk about her all the time." And her mother was like, I just want to thank you. I have this, 11-year-old child who is completely articulate and comfortable talking around a dead little girl because
Right.
because the people that brought her up are okay talking about her. That made me feel better, because
Yeah, definitely.
as the caretaker, I know you weren't her mother, but you're her auntie, but you're her person. So
I'm
you
her
know that
person.
the driving force is wanting people to remember her, that
Yes.
that she was here.
Oh, I will always talk about her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think there's a lot of old school mentality out there where if you don't talk about it, it didn't happen.
Yes. Yeah. That was my whole childhood.
I knew you would understand.
Yeah.
If it didn't directly impact you, it's easy to move on.
Right.
Your
Right.
life goes on,
Yes.
but
Yes.
we're missing a person.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So when Rachel Hunger died, so Rachel Hunger was a dancer at Molly's dance school, and
yes.
she ate the peanut paste and anaphylaxis and that whole was on life support. Died. Molly's death day was Rachel's birthday,
Oh, wow.
and they unplugged her May 8th instead of May 7th. So she was it was 3 years later, but it was the same. It was the
Same
same.
pattern.
Yes, and it was a CDA dancer, and so we did the shirts, the Be the Miracle shirts, and
Yes.
we totally helped the Hunger family just like people had helped us. And we
Hmm.
were talking once, and Rachel had gone to college. Rachel had not lived at home for several years now. So Jen's day-to-day life, Rachel's mom, was not altered because she wasn't there every day. So we
Right.
got talking once and we're just chatting along. She said, I got to thinking about you, Barb, and I got to thinking if Rachel was still alive and it was Allison that had died, that was her younger daughter who was still home. She
Hmm.
goes, I don't know how the fuck I'd be living right now. Like, I don't even know what I'd do because it's right there in your face all the time.
Well, it's harder to pretend.
Yeah. 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 You can't pretend because somebody's missing. Yeah. There's no,
They're
yeah. And my hardest times in the year after Molly died were 7:30 in the morning until 8:15 because Gracie was at the high school. So I would drop Gracie off, come home, and have 45 minutes with Molly before I had to bring her to school because Runlet was an hour later. So it was
right.
just the two of us. And it was just, we talked about how awesome it was. Like, this is the best.
Right. This
And
is
then,
our time.
yeah. And then for a whole school year, I had to go home to an empty house. It was miserable, 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 miserable.
Yep. And those are the little times where, that shift, you feel it.
Yeah. People who don't know don't know.
Yeah. Or when it's really quiet, my mind runs away a lot.
Yeah.
I'm thankful we don't live with the what ifs or
Yeah.
because,
If onlys and
yeah, but we still have a person missing.
yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that's hard.
How did Lexi's dad and bonus mom take it? I mean, not that you have to tell their stories, but just sort of in general.
We all kind of functioned very similarly. We moved as a unit. I do have to say, we moved as a unit. We were an odd little tribe. I do have to say, like through the 7 years, her mom and I, and dad and bonus mom, and we were there for everything. And I'm so grateful. They didn't have to let me be a part of anything.
No.
I didn't have to be there. That they let me, that they asked me, that I'm grateful.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
so grateful. We were really, really blessed that we were able to have really open, candid conversation.
Yeah.
If any of us needed to talk, I still stay in touch with everybody.
Yeah.
It looks different.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It
A
looks
main
different.
character is missing. So yeah.
So Andrew is in Wyoming and her dad and bonus mom are here. So her birthday this year, we went out to dinner
Yeah. Oh.
with her brother. She also
Yeah.
has a brother.
Yeah.
Lexi has a brother who I still to this day talk to every day.
Yeah. Be older than her?
He is.
Yeah.
He is. Lexi was diagnosed on his 15th birthday.
Oh. Right. So his life now becomes all about the sick sibling, which
We found such a good balance because we had our tribe,
so
and
there
my
was
daughter is a little bit older than him. we all chipped in to do our part. And it was really important to us that he never felt not left out, because
Right.
he's obviously going to be left out.
Right.
Treatment's hard.
Yeah.
It's time
Oh yeah.
consuming, it's expensive, it's exhausting. And that was all through his,
Yeah.
high school years.
Yeah.
But just making sure someone was always available. And it didn't always look the way we would have obviously wanted it for him.
Right.
But again, having a whole unit the way we moved, we could just coordinate and disperse as needed.
Yeah. Well, and having a tribe, so to speak, just the group of you, he could then maintain a somewhat normal life. He could go to his school events. He could go to work or hang with his friends because it
Yep.
wasn't like one parent alone trying to balance all this.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So I feel like everybody chipped in and did the best they could with what they could. Dad lives about an hour away, so it wasn't always the day to day,
Right.
say like the school pickups. I mean, I'm not saying he didn't, but we would all just coordinate on who had to be where
Yeah.
and when,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it could be any of us at any time.
Yeah.
As far as grief goes, we're all kind of on the same cycle right now.
Yeah. Well, and you're so new into it. You know,
Yeah.
that's something I often say when I meet someone new, a new grieving mother or a grieving sibling, somebody when someone's lost a younger person in their life. And I always
Mhm.
say, well, when did this happen? And we'll say, oh, 2 years. I'm like, oh my God, that's just beginning. I get greeted with such like thanks, like, oh my God, thank you for saying that.
Thank you
Because
for understanding.
yes, that it's just the freaking beginning, even though it's been 572 days.
Right.
That's nothing. That's not even 2 years' time. And we got the news, the true news that Molly wouldn't wake up. We all knew when you look at a dead child, you kind of know what you're looking
You
at.
just know.
Yeah. And so, but I was going to have a glimmer of hope there'd be some miracle. And when we got the final news, one of the doctors, I can't remember, he had white hair and a beard, and his whole face trembled. He started to cry, and his whole face trembled, and tears just poured down. He had explained it so succinctly to Gracie,
Hmm.
really explained it. There's no way she couldn't have known that Molly was dead. And she goes, okay, I just have one question, and I can take it. You be honest with me. I can take it. How long until she wakes up? Like that was her question. She's not going to wake up, and he just sobbed. And so in the aftermath of all of that, he said 5 years. And I said, what? And he said 5 years. In a loss like this, you won't even begin to see a glimmer of a hint of normalcy on the far horizon for 5 years. And there'll
Hmm.
be a shift. Trust me, there will. And you know what? He was absolutely right. Now, my fifth year, Jack was born. So I had a massive distraction. But I also
Right.
had a really, really big tank shortly after he was born, a really,
Yep.
really rough patch. And then I had to spend, the fifth anniversary of Molly's death, one room away from where she coded and actually died at Concord Hospital.
Right.
It was awful. There was a shift where I don't miss her any less. I probably say 30 times a day, please come home, Molly, just come home. Every time I go into
Hmm.
the bathroom where she spent her last night puking, and I sit down and I'm like, I just want you back.
Hmm.
I'm in my 10th year now. I'm sure there are people that listen to this and roll their eyes like, all right, but I don't see it that way. And the other thing I notice, like some of your sharing is so succinct and detailed because you remember it because it's got those
Yes.
emotions attached to it.
Hmm.
And one of my guests a couple of weeks ago, she lost a sibling and didn't even remember it because she was so young when it happened. She was 3.
Right.
And so she was like, wait, I had a baby brother. And she goes through this whole she tells me the story and she articulates it with such clarity that I felt like I was watching it. I could picture, it was in the late 50s, early 60s, and I could picture it was like she was telling me a story that I could visualize. And she was 3 when it happened, and then 5 when she found out, and then 8 when she found out some more stuff, and then 14 when she found out some more stuff, and in her 40s when she got the whole story from her dad. And this is a child she never really met. With the accuracy with which the story is told, to me, just illustrates the depth of love. I don't know what else to call it. Like,
Yeah. Well, there's a bond.
yeah,
There's a bond.
yeah,
It was kind of described, I described at a Lex's service that she was my void filler. She was my void filler because these strange links, we talked about the timelines and how things happen. I lost my daughter in January of '05. Her birthday was 117 and her name was Ashlyn Rose. And then in April, along came Alexa Rose. I would look at her and I'd have, if Ashlyn was here, she'd be doing this right now, or
Right.
she would be. I don't know why to this day that Lex decided she liked me.
Oh, I know why.
I really don't, though. She
It's
was
Ashlyn.
shy, she was withdrawn, but something about her, like, she was always supposed to be my girl.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and this is before she was sick. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't
No,
just
oh
cling
no,
to
I
her.
get it. I get it.
I think some people later assumed, like, oh, she's so close because she needs help. I can't express how much I adored this little girl. For
Yeah.
one, she was the most beautiful little girl you've ever seen. She looked like a real life porcelain doll.
Now, how old was Ashlyn when she died?
Ashlyn was stillborn.
Okay, so
She
alive
was
in your belly,
stillborn
alive in your belly, and then not alive.
until she wasn't. And I thought like that grief process was hard, but she was a lot of what could have been.
Right. Grieving what never happened. You're grieving
Right.
what you spent 9 months thinking was going to happen, and then it didn't. I lost a baby at 26 weeks, and that same thing. It was just this.
I was 26 weeks.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Of
Yeah.
course you were. There's a word called hiareth, Hiareth, and it's
Mhm.
a Welsh word. It's grief and homesickness for something you've never had.
You never had. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember thinking when I lost baby Gordy that that was the worst thing ever.
Well, at the time it was.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
It
And
was.
yeah.
And you
Oh,
can't
yeah.
discredit it
Yeah. No, at all.
for
At
what it
all. At
was.
all. At all. And actually, I went to a reading. Have you ever gone to a reading? Had like gone
I
to a medium?
have.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah. So I went to a reading. This was profound. And then I want to hear your experience too. Right after Molly died, a local medium called me and she goes, I never do this, but Molly won't leave me alone. I need you to come talk to me. And I'm like, okay. So I went, and Molly and I had been in a fight when she died. So our last words weren't kind to one another, which, of
Right.
course, as a mother, it's like, ah. I mean, I saw her at the hospital the day I got back. So, and I love you, Molly. I'm home. I love you too, mama, that kind of thing. Basically, she said, before I get started with Molly, so did you like lose another baby? Did you ever have a son? And I'm like, why? He was Molly's first person, and they're tooling around together, and he's all over the place, and this and that and this and that. And it was baby Gordy, like, of course,
Hmm.
they're waiting for Molly. That was when I started to really give him more, not, well, I don't know how to say it. It's not that I didn't acknowledge him because I did, but I was able to recover from that and get busy getting healthy and having Gracie and all in a way that,
Hmm.
I didn't spend years and years and years devastated by that loss, which doesn't make it small by any means. Just of her seeing me was to tell me that Molly wasn't mad at me. She goes, you were mad at Molly? You guys had a fight? Like she knew all this.
Wow.
All Molly wants me to tell you is stop blaming yourself. There's nothing you could have done. This was going to happen. And she's not mad at you. She understands it all now. She can see it all now and she gets it. So stop blaming.
Okay.
That was hugely helpful for me because I just was so distraught
Well,
over.
there was nothing you could do about it.
Right, right. I couldn't fix
It,
it. Yeah,
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 you
yeah.
couldn't change it.
No, at all.
My only experience, I've gone and had, other family members or friends that have passed come through, but
Uh-huh.
I had gone to one. It was like a little group thing.
Yeah, oh, I've done
We'd
those.
all gone,
Yeah,
and the medium just kept coming back to me, and he wanted to talk about the babies, baby A and baby B, A and B, A and B. I had nothing. I only had Ashlyn. There is no baby B. Like,
right.
sorry, you've got the wrong gal. And then he would come back and say, no, no, it's you. There's a B, and I'm seeing New York. It's A and B, A and B. There's nothing in New York, sir. Like, until it occurs to me, A would be Ashlyn and B would be Brooklyn because my best friend's daughter had passed away right after Ashlyn. Baby A and baby B.
Right. That would be a spiritual connection for those babies on the other side. Wow.
But I
Yeah,
argued,
yeah, it's not
no,
me.
there's
It's not
no A
me.
and B.
Yeah, yeah. Molly comes through in other people's readings too sometimes.
Does she?
A friend of mine, I sent a friend to the person I go to, and Molly came through because her sister had died by suicide and was reluctant to speak. The medium was saying, I get a sense of her, but she's not willing to speak. I sense a lot of emotion and this and that. And then Molly came through, and the medium was like, do you know a young girl? You're helping her sister. Even though Carolyn Rose, who was my medium, knew Molly, she didn't know that this was Molly. She didn't connect Molly to her. She got
Right.
Molly's,
she's like, so finally, the woman that was having the medium said, "Oh, you must be talking about Molly." And she's like, "You know Molly?" And then Molly was like, "Duh, everybody, of course it's me," like into the
Here I
medium.
am.
And she spoke on behalf of the woman that had died by suicide. Like, she's here. She doesn't feel worthy of speaking to you. She feels very guilty and bad. She's sorry. She loves you and all this kind of stuff. It was
I'm
so,
always like, I've got this.
yeah, I've got you. Yeah,
I got
exactly. I
this.
got you. Yeah.
I
And
do
then, and
love
then,
that.
yeah. And then Rachel came through as well for me to say some things to her mother. So this is when I find, I'm not religious. I don't follow religious rules. I pray every
Mhm.
day, but it's not like some structured thing. I
Yeah,
don't get down on my knees. Sometimes I pray on the rower. Sometimes I pray while I'm peeing. My connection to Molly and my desire to know that she still exists is eased and comforted so much by these readings and by other people's readings and connections with her and by the ongoing communications and connections. Like when Lexi died, I'm like, Molly, please go find her. Let her know that, I'm quite sure Molly was around Lexi a lot the whole time anyway. I just
I
think,
think so.
yeah, I think she would have been. I think she would have been.
I think so.
Yeah, that was incredible, Lexi. People we meet, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
our little circles.
yeah. If you had to not give advice to somebody, but if you were, giving a TED talk or you were in a group of people that, you've gone through this and they haven't and all this kind of stuff, is there one thing that you would say, or is there one thing that you've gotten from it, or one thing about Lexi and the experience that you would want people to know?
On the Lexi front, as far as if you're caretaking for someone, not even terminally ill, but just someone, let them be their own person.
Yeah,
That was so important to us that we did what was best for her.
right,
She was a child, so choices were made for her, but she was able to be who she was.
right.
And that's who we miss. Not to necessarily treat them as sick because they're sick. It's so easy to do.
Yeah,
A lot of our memories we have with her, she called the shots. She did what she wanted to do. She was a really big personality and a little tiny body. Let them tell you what they need.
right.
That was important. And as far as the grief process, let people help you.
Yeah. Ah, that's a hard one. Right, right.
I struggled, I still do, with letting people help me.
Yeah,
And it can be hard, especially in our position, and me sometimes because I was the doer,
right. Yeah, I have a hard time accepting help. I'm fine to help other
but
people.
ask for it.
Yeah.
But ask for it. It's
Yeah.
hard when you're the one who handles everything to be like, okay, it's not okay anymore.
Right.
So you kind of have to change your mindset.
Yeah.
You do.
Mindset shift.
You do.
Yeah.
And that is the hardest for me
Yeah. Yeah.
because you also don't want to burden people,
No, no.
but do.
So what's next for you in the life of Danielle?
What is next for me? I've actually talked to Lexi's mom a lot about this and needing a change and not knowing what it might be.
Right. So being open to whatever it is.
I am open to whatever comes my way next.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, it comes from a tricky place, but that's not a bad place to be in. If you can't have what all the things you thought you'd have,
Yep.
then having the chance to reinvent yourself a little bit. And I think in my family, Gracie now is growing up, so she's more in that way. She's going to
Yeah.
head off to Disneyland Paris, which is going to be amazing.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
That's so
yeah. So
exciting.
that'll be a nice reset for her. But one of her biggest fears is, what if I get there and I love it so much I don't want to come home? I'm like, well, then make Paris your home. Like,
Then you visit.
right. We buy a house in Paris. Like, okay,
Oh no, we have to come see you there.
Yeah. Oh no, what a drag.
What will I tell your brother?
Yeah, exactly. Oh no. Yeah, exactly. So,
No,
well,
I find with my life, it has a way of just showing me where I need to be.
yes. Oh, it certainly does.
I think that's where I'm going to end up.
Yeah.
And I don't want to start anything while I'm so out of my comfort zone
Right.
just to do it.
Right.
So I'm going to wait and see what comes my way.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I'll be following along. Well, listen, Danielle, I really want to thank you. It's funny, in all these years, and I still apologize when I cry. I still apologize if I think I say the wrong thing. Like, we can't help it. We just do. But tears are a part of our life forever now.
Mhm.
All right, everybody. So just to keep y'all happy, look at us, two beautiful women who can smile, even though we're sad. I think Danielle understands my picket fence analogy of life, that forever now we straddle a picket fence. And some days the picket fence is low, and other days our feet don't touch the ground, and that's not comfortable. But that's life. As we go along, I find I have better picket fence days. I have more good ones than bad, more short fence days than tall fence days. So anyways, be good to yourself. Ask for help. As Danielle says, don't be afraid to do that if you're struggling. Be good to someone else. If someone asks you for help, say yes. And as always, have a good day, everybody.
Hey, thanks for listening and supporting the podcast. Feel free to leave a review and share my stories with your friends. Please reach out with your own stories, as I love connecting with my listeners. If you would like to get to know Molly, head over to mollybfoundation.org to see what she is all about. If you want to see what I'm up to next, you can find me on Instagram at barb_444, on Facebook as Barb Higgins, and at my website, 1000tinysteps.com. And while you're there, sign up for my newsletter, a weekly way to find out what's up in the life of Barb Higgins.